dear students, in this video you will learn about the log modes, and generally in case of a SAP system we have total 4 types of log mode. The first one is write log, and that is called log mode exclusive. In this log mode only the one user can edit the log data. The other write logs and read logs are rejected in the log mode exclusive. It protects the locked object against all other the transactions. The second type of log is the read log, and that is also called log mode shared. As the name suggests, shared, that means the several users can have read access to the logged data at the same time, and the request for additional read log are accepted even if are from other users. And in this log mode shared, a write log is always rejected. Now the third kind of log is enhanced write log, and that is called log mode exclusive non-cumulative. In this log mode, while the same transaction can successfully request and release the write logs, you can request enhanced write log once even by the same transaction. And in this log, all other requests for the logs are rejected. And the last one type of log is optimistic log, and that log is also called log mode optimistic. In this optimistic logs, it responds like a read log at first and then can be changed it to the write log. So suppose one user has been requested for the read log on some data item, then it successfully can change that read log to the write log. So these are the 4 kinds of log modes in SAP ABAP systems. Now we will see, once the log has been acquired by some user, how we can remove it. There are 2 ways of removing the logs held by the user. The first one, ending the user session in the user overview by using the transaction, and the transaction code is SM04. So when you will go into the SM04, it will show you the number of users who have acquired the particular log. So by ending the user session, that means by ending this BC user session, in this you can end or remove the logs held by the user. Second is manually deleting the log entries in the log table, and how we can do that? With the help of a transaction code, and the transaction code is SM12. So when you will go to the SM12, it will show you the particular table name it will ask, or either you can list the number of log entries in the log table. And by deleting the particular log entries from the log table, you can remove the log held by the any user. Now practically we will see, now you can see that currently no log entry is found because no user have acquired the log onto a particular program. Now how we can set and monitor the log entries? So first of all, if you want to check the log work process, how the NQ work process handle the works in the ABAP, you can see it practically. So first of all, we will acquire the log, and then we will see the log entries, and then we will release the log entries from the log table. The first step, that is change the user data. Suppose if you want to change the user data of a current user, you can issue the transaction command, that is your SU03. When you will press SU03 or SU3, it will switch on to a particular maintain user profile of the current user, and you can see that the current profile user of the user is BC user, and this is your current profile of the user. Now your user data is now logged at the SAP system level. Why? Because we are editing some data which is stored at the some database level. That means a log has been acquired by the user, and the user is BC user. Now open a new window. How we can open a new window? I have already told you, you need to use /O. If you want to open parallel session, so use O, and you can check the log entries to determine the table on which a log has been set. For opening or checking the log entries, we use transaction code, that is your SM12. So we are using here /O and SM12. When you will press enter, it will not close the current session of this maintaining user profile, and it open parallelly another transaction, that is your log entry table. Now if you want to list the entries, list the table, so just click on the list, and in this list you will see a log has been acquired by the BC user for the user profile. So this is the username, and this is client 001, and this is the lock mode, and the lock mode is exclusive, that is table user 0, this is argument, and the use count is 0. You can see that the selected log entry is equal to 1. Now try to change your O1 user data into the another window, because I have already told you, if one user is writing into the exclusive mode, then the other user cannot write or change the data. So it should show a message that it has been acquired by the some user. For checking that, open the new window. So for opening a new window, we will use /O, and again we will issue a command su3. When you will press enter, it will show you a message, maintenance of the user BC user locked by the user BC user. That means maintenance of the BC user already been locked by the another user, and the user is BC user. So it is not allowing you to change the data of the user data of the BC user. So that means the lock has been acquired in the exclusive mode. If you want to check or display the user data that is currently being changed by using the transaction code, and the transaction code is SU01. And if you want to delete the particular log entries, you can also delete by selecting the particular list item and then click on the delete button. So by this way you can release the log which was currently acquired by the BC user. Now come to the next process, and you can see that there was some printing process, and the printing, for opening the printing process, you can check with the help of transaction code which is SM50. Call the transaction SM50, which will show you the number of work processes which are running, which are waiting. So you can see that one dialog work process is running and other are in the waiting state. And if you want to print this data using the printer, then you can choose here Ctrl+P to print, or use the F4 help to select an output device and choose continue. So by this way you can print the list and generate an output request from a spool request. So this was all about the your log entries, checking the locking and printing the any list using the print command, which is used as Ctrl+P. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you really like my videos, please press the like button.